Hi, my name's Stuart and I'm from ERGOS, and today I'm joined by Chris White.
Thank you. Chris White, working at the South East Cyber Resilience Centre.
Thank you, Chris. I bet you've got a million interesting stories.
Well, yes, policing career, probably the last 9 years I've been in the world of cyber. And we have quite a few hats. So we go out to expos, we advise or we give guidance to businesses and organisations and charities on safe setups of computers. Part of the team would be out there challenging those offenders, suspects that have got up to no good and completed Computer Misuse Act offences in the UK. And sometimes we will debrief offenders and just find out why they've done what they've done, the way they've done it. Principally, that if we can work out some of the reasons they've done it, we can rehabilitate them, and also it's good intelligence and information to produce like tomorrow's security products. So if we work how the spikes and the trends occur, then again you produce mitigation which could stop that at source. So yeah, I guess
very interesting role.
Yeah, what have I experienced? Probably at the top end of the scale. I think the oldest offender was probably a 54-year-old male that was an IT manager.
Okay.
Just had a midlife crisis. It's probably the shortest way you could describe that.
Right.
Decided that an easy way to make money would be to sell data on the dark web.
So the other way, so gamekeeper come poacher.
Also known as the insider threat.
Oh, yes.
So yes, quite a lot of businesses will have a workforce.
Yeah.
And most of the time, all the staff behave, don't they?
Yes.
But sometimes they become a threat, an insider threat.
Especially if they're in a privileged position like an IT manager.
Yeah. So when you look at certain things and treating a workforce correctly, something called zero trust or least privilege principle.
Yeah.
So you have segregation of duties as well. So you try and get two people to check up on each other, rather like a buddy-buddy system.
Well, don't mark your own homework.
Don't mark your own homework as well. Certainly we would look at scenarios where support them with the technology to undertake or complete their business objectives. So what does that mean in real life? The sales team, do they really need access to the pension data?
Yeah.
To the cleaner, would they need access to security access control? You wouldn't give everyone access all areas. You give them least privilege principles. So I don't know, if you promote a member of staff and they need supervisory access, you give them those temporary rights.
So data governance.
Yeah. And then certainly review it regularly.
Yeah.
And certainly after any significant or critical changes, that you may need to bring someone back down to the rights which they had originally before promotion. If they're not undertaking that acting role anymore, you remove their rights. Quite a few times we've dealt with staff members that have left organisations, sometimes described as they've had a meeting with their boss without a cup of tea, so it's probably not going to be a great meeting.
On Friday, 5 o'clock.
And they may be relieved of their duties. They may have been sacked, whether it's misconduct or whatever. Yes, traditionally, take the keys, the laptop, the company car off of them. Sometimes companies change door locks, they change intruder alarm PIN codes. In the modern day world, have you frozen or deleted their remote access or their user rights? We see that being forgotten about quite a few times, and we've seen some staff go home, they've got a grudge.
Yeah.
They then remotely log into company systems. They may kick out the genuine users from the social media channels because you've forgotten to remove them from the Instagram account. Yeah. They've then done some horrible posting which could cause you reputational damage. These sort of things, if you had an exit strategy, like you have an onboarding policy, you create the accounts, you have an offboarding policy.
Yeah, couldn't agree more.
Easy policies, but again, because it's out of sight, it's an invisible issue. You make sure, I want your company car keys off of you, you forget about the company remote access.
Yeah.
So we've seen a few issues where ex-members of staff have got in. Certainly if we came down the scale, I know there's been a lot of issues between like 17 to 25-year-olds. It is a curious age of people's lives, isn't it? And they're testing boundaries, they're looking at things, and they're probably showing off. And we've seen a few areas where it's notoriety or kudos, where they've done, I compromised that business because it's an invisible crime. They can't see the consequences. And I've had business owners phone me up on a Friday afternoon, which Fridays is a popular day for computer offenders because they know potentially if they get into the organisation, they've got all weekend. Maybe coming up to a seasonal holiday time and certainly a bank holiday weekend, because then you've got an extended window where you could probably do some more damage or disruption.
Yeah.
So certainly, yes, I've had business owners phone up Friday afternoon. Some of them, when I look back over the time, crying their eyes out. These are like hardened mid-40s directors that make ruthless business decisions. But yes, they wouldn't be happy about dealing with a fire, a flood or a fight, because it's a conventional threat type. We're all used to dealing with them. You turn the water pipe off, you stop the flood. But when it comes to a cyber attack, it's an invisible attack. They don't know where it's coming from.
A lot of anxiety in that, because it makes you paranoid. You start thinking, because it is invisible and it's 24/7.
Yeah, we see a lot of impersonations where someone might copy or clone your genuine company website. Yeah, and then it pops up, and then you've got people maybe going to the impersonation website, the cloned website, rather than coming to your genuine website. Maybe they might offer stuff a little bit cheaper. They then buy the stuff, and the stuff never appears. Yeah. They then get back onto your website to make the complaint, saying, what's going on? Where's my stuff? And then at that point you realise, oh, we've been impersonated. Whole different kettle of fish to do a takedown of a rogue website or a rogue server. Certainly, I'm trying to think, the youngest millionaire I've dealt with was 17 years old. Wow. And he had sent out so many phishing emails that people clicked on a link and then paid certain money to cryptocurrency wallets, that he was a millionaire at 17. And again, entered the criminal justice journey, and those go through courts, and we would utilise different legislation to recover that money back. Some of it's called Proceeds of Crime Act, and we do give that money back to the victims. So yes, one of the hurdles we've had in law enforcement is that not everyone reports cybercrime. We would like more reporting of cybercrime, because when we do make these big seizures, if you haven't reported it, we can't return the assets or the money back to you because we didn't know you were a victim. No. So that's one of, I guess, the good reasons for reporting a cybercrime, is that when we do catch up with criminals, and we do it regularly, that when we make seizures and we return money, if we can identify where it came from, we would obviously do that. But again, please report it. It helps us make our job easier and makes people safer, bring offenders to justice, and give those assets back to those victims that are missing it.
You think that, if you actually think about that, a 17-year-old, you don't really think that they're the type of criminals. They're probably still in school or college or some sort of training, but that they're that advanced. And I suppose is there an element of gamesmanship, of not even necessarily seeing it as a crime, but wanting to just see what they can do?
No, yes, because they may not know it, their parents may not know it. They see them upstairs in the bedroom, they're not out traditionally, maybe causing a few problems on the street corners, if you stereotype that way. Yeah. But certainly parents may not have been at that point where, I don't know, the 10 Commandments is a good example, is that thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not do those other things. But you would never have had that conversation, thou shalt not commit Computer Misuse Act chat with your child, would you? Not. So yeah, going down the scale, I've dealt with 13-year-olds that can redesign viruses and put them back out in the wild, which cause problems. Wow. A virus is just malicious software that can get onto a computer and may make it behave strangely. It may lock it down, it may encrypt it, but either way it's going to cause you disruption. Yes. And I've seen 13-year-olds with computer brains, brains.
These guys are incredibly bright. That it's not an easy thing that they're doing there.
And youngest person that we've dealt with, go on, have a guess. How old?
I don't know, we're at 13, are we? So not under 10, surely.
So 8 years old.
Wow.
And they were pretty proficient at what's called DDoSing. Yeah. So that's instructing a lot of different computers to maybe pick on one computer, ask it a lot of things. So if you're in a room with 100 people and all 100 of you ask a question at once, you probably answer the first or second question, and then you couldn't work out what all the other requests of you are, and you'd just go, oh, you'd have a meltdown moment. DDoS, it's the electronic version. Loads of computers will bombard one computer with loads of instructions, and it would melt down. I think some good examples would be Oasis put some tickets, didn't they, up
Yes.
online onto Ticketmaster, and I think like the whole world jumped onto Ticketmaster at 9 o'clock in the
Trying
morning
to
to buy
get
the
those,
tickets.
yeah.
And some minutes later, Ticketmaster is struggling with the supply-demand issues.
Absolutely.
It's sort of the perfect example of a DDoS, but a lawful example.
Yes. But I can't get over that. 8 years old, primary school, that's...
But they're in the bedroom.
Yeah.
They've got access to Google, YouTube.
Yeah.
They're at that curious point of their life, and they're just looking at different things.
Yeah.
They may not necessarily know that's bad. I'm sure they might have missed out on that lesson about computer ethics, and
Yeah, well,
a lot of parents might not have taught computer ethics yet.
True, yeah. But I guess the other thing is there are some prevention is better than cure, so maybe thinking about what your child is doing and putting some access control onto those devices at home, I think. I know
Well, it's having those conversations, just finding out what they're thinking about. And yes, if you're a small business and you're going to connect your devices to the internet, you are game on for anywhere around the world 24/7, 365. So when we talk about keeping devices up to date, putting on two-step verification, having your firewalls and strong passwords, yes, there's some kids which are of a young age that could exploit systems if they found a weakness. Yes, there are organised crime gangs, fraudsters and scammers, which will be looking at your systems
a
as
whole
well.
range.
Then you may have some nation state attackers that will be looking to disrupt and lock out your systems. So you've got a whole range of different capabilities, different intentions and motivations.
Yes.
But the common framework there is the internet. You're connected to the internet. So if you are going to connect, get better at defence.
Yes, absolutely. Prevention is better than cure. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks, Chris. That's been really fascinating. Cheers. Thank you.
Thank you.